suicide affects those left behind profoundly. You go to bed as a normal, rounded human being, and then you wake up the next day and you found that your partner's taken their own life, and from that moment on, nothing's ever quite the same again. And when anyone dies, you inevitably look back and think of all the things you said, or didn't have time to say rather, and all the things you didn't have time to do. And that's perfectly natural. I think with suicide, you think back and imagine all the things you'd like to say to them if they were still here. And then you think of all the things you did say, and all the things you did do as well. And you try and work out whether any of those contributed to causing their suicide, or to delaying it, or impacting on it in any way. And the effect of that is you essentially send yourself, excuse the phrase, round the bend. You analyse everything that's been said and done. You can't stop thinking, and it's absolutely overwhelming. And I was quite surprised, because when you talk about these things in the abstract, you imagine sleepless nights and things like that. For me, the minute my head hit the pillow at night, I was out like a light and slept for 6 hours solidly every single night for months afterwards. And I think it was because mentally I was so exhausted during the day. You'd have a split second as your eyes opened when you hadn't realised what had happened, and then within that first second, the entire enormity of what's happened in your life comes crashing back in and completely overwhelms you, and you just can't stop thinking about everything. You're completely consumed with what's gone on and trying to make sense of it and trying to rationalise it. And as human beings, or certainly for someone like me, you always try and make sense of what's happened in your life and to process it and rationalise it. And with suicide, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. I know I won't ever be able to do that. I can understand how Ben felt, I can understand how low he was for various reasons, and they're all legitimate reasons, and I can empathise with that and relate to it. But the one thing I'll never be able to rationalise is the last few seconds of his life when the decision was made and he went through with it, because I can't imagine ever being that short of anything that I would take a step that is irreversible. And understanding your part in that and what you could or couldn't have done to change that is just going to be a question that haunts me for the rest of my life, I suppose.